ASTON MBAYA of Congo Part 12. The Chambers of the Condemned of the Covenant. Babies initiated and defiled by witchcraft. Brother, I am ASTON MBAYA and I have been in hell for 351 days. I was with the Lord. As we were leaving the chambers of marriage where souls were condemned for fornication and marriage-related issues, I saw countless lost souls lifting their hands towards the Lord saying, "Lord, get me out of here." Jesus said to me, "I do not force people to do my will and keep my instructions. These people are condemned for their own actions." I said to the Lord, "How is it possible for a God of love to create such a place?" And Jesus said, "Being the God of love does not mean that I am no longer the God of justice." We were in hell where the Lord took me to a chamber where it was written, "The Condemned of Covenant." I asked the Lord, "What does it mean, the chamber of condemned of covenant?" The Lord said, "We will enter inside this chamber and you will discover what is there." Brother, when we entered the gate of this prison, I heard voices of millions crying. Very quickly, I started to notice that these were not voices of adults but little children and babies. Then I saw a demon waving his hand and saying to countless children that were crying in torment, "Children, please don't cry, stop crying. You must rejoice, for this is your kingdom forever. You should always be in this place. That is your kingdom." I said, "Lord, the voices I am hearing in this chamber seems like that of children." Jesus said, "The children you will see here are not the ones you saw in the abortion sector demanding justice. The children that are here landed here because of covenant." I said, "Lord, what do you mean?" The Lord said, "Mortals born of a woman, or a few days, are full of trouble. They spring up like flowers and wither away, like fleeting shadows. They do not endure. Who can bring what is pure from the impure? No one." I said, "Lord, you told me that children escape the judgment." The Lord said, "The devil is cunning. He never wanted men to escape judgment. Therefore he has gone after children. He is fighting children when they are still in the womb of their mothers." Brother, while the Lord was speaking, I saw a rock, and beside this rock, I saw a demon who had the skin of a crocodile over his body. He was seated like a mother carrying a baby and changing baby nappy. However, when we got closer, I noticed that the nappy that this demon was dressing the baby was covered with scorpions, snakes, and worms. When this demon put this nappy on the baby, the little baby cried more and screamed from pain, for these worms and snakes were biting him. I heard the baby saying, "What have I done to deserve this? I have not even lived life on the earth." While the baby was crying, I saw this demon saying, "Baby, don't cry. Please don't cry." This demon was changing the baby's nappy that had scorpions and snakes that were eating his flesh. The demon took another nappy that was full of scorpions, snakes, and worms, and when he covered the baby with this nappy, the baby cried even more. And this demon kept coddling the baby and saying, "Don't cry, baby." Then this demon laid the baby on a table that was burning with fire, and I saw that the fire was consuming the baby flesh. I said, "Lord, this is just a little baby. What has he done to deserve this?" The Lord said, "This baby died when he was 8 months. One day when he was a baby on the earth, her mother washed his nappy and placed it on the dryer. While she was putting this nappy on the dryer, her neighbor who was a witch was observing and talking in her heart and saying, 'She has delivered a beautiful baby, and she is putting this beautiful nappy on the dryer in order to show us that it's all about her.' It is when the mother of this baby was distracted that this lady which went on to touch the nappy that was laid on the dryer, and she transferred the spirit of witchcraft on the nappy. When it was evening, the mother removed the nappy from the dryer. It was when she dressed the baby with the nappy that had the spirit of witchcraft that the baby contracted witchcraft. When it was night on that very day, the lady that was a wizard flew above the house and called the spirit of the baby out of the body, and she took the baby to the gathering of witches in the astral world. The baby was 7 months old when he contracted witchcraft and was taken to the marine kingdom, where he drank human blood in the gathering of witches. In the physical world, the baby was still a 7-month baby, but in the world of witches, the baby had consciousness and he had adult reason and intellectual ability. As a result, he began to practice witchcraft. Though he was a baby in the physical world, this baby was sent to various missions out of his body to cause traffic accidents, and innocent lives were killed. He committed many offenses and crimes of witchcraft during that lapse of time from 7 months to 8 months. Before his death, he attended the gathering of witchcraft where he was sent on a mission of destruction against a Christian family. When he came to attack this family, the fire of God erupted and burned his spiritual body. When he came back in his body of a baby, he was affected. In that morning, his mother checked him and he saw that her baby had fever. Quickly, she took the baby to the hospital where he died and he fell to this place. I saw this baby wearing a nappy that had snakes, scorpions, and worms that were tormenting him. He was crying continuously. The Lord said, "This is his judgment. It will be forever and ever." I saw the baby talking to the Lord. I was stunned to see that he was talking like an adult. He said to the Lord, "I have no experience of life on the earth, and I never heard the gospel. What have I done to deserve this? I have lived for 8 months only on earth. Then I fell here in torment." The Lord said, "Even those who have never heard my word in their lives will be judged, for the stained souls will not enter the kingdom." Jesus said to the baby, "Your body on the earth was that of a baby. But in the spirit world you were not a baby. You had consciousness and reason, so you are accountable." Yet the child continued to protest that he never heard the gospel. The Lord said, "God does not show favoritism. All who sinned apart from the law will also perish apart from the law. And all who sinned under the law will be judged by the law." Brother, beside this baby, I saw something that was burning. When I looked, I saw that it was a placenta. And inside this placenta that had worms, I heard a voice crying out for help. It was actually another baby that was inside this placenta where worms were eating him, and he was asking for help. I asked the Lord what he had done. The Lord said, when his mother was pregnant, one day she felt sick and she went to the hospital where she was supposed to be transfused with blood. However, among the donated blood of that hospital, there was an occultist that donated blood that day. The lady was transfused with blood from that occultist. The occultist's blood entered the baby in the womb. Many days later, the occultist began to do magic prayer. And in this prayer, he was claiming the souls of anyone that was transfused with his blood. While he was claiming these souls, he saw that this baby had his blood and that he had legality in his life. He came to take the soul of the baby out of the body to the satanic world, where he initiated the baby in black magic. When the baby became a conscious adult in the spirit world, he was told he will serve Satan. Later, the woman had a miscarriage and the baby died. And he fell in this place in hell. Beloved, not far from where we were, there was blood in a bowl that was burning, and there was a voice of a child speaking from the blood, which said, "Why have you done this, mother? Why have you done this, mother?" The Lord said, "ASTON, the blood you see is a 3-month fetus. Her mother was a witch, and she always said when she will have children, her first child would join her in witchcraft activity. When she got engaged to a man, she got pregnant by accident. Since this pregnancy was not planned, her fiancé forced her to abort. Yet she already transmitted witchcraft to the baby in the womb, though this baby was just 3 months old. When the mother aborted the pregnancy, the child was already a witch, and she fell in hell, for there was nowhere else to go. Brother, I saw a baby of 1 week and 2 weeks in this place, because of witchcraft and black magic. There were many babies in this place for different actions of their parents that were in witchcraft. The voices of babies in this place were painful, and I was sad, especially the blood of a fetus that was 2 months old. The baby was shapeless because she was in formation in the womb of her mother when she died. I could see that her face was still under formation inside the blood. She kept repeating, "Oh Lord, I am lost forever. I am lost forever." I said, "Lord, what has this blood done?" The Lord said, "She is not blood. She is a human being." I said, "Lord, what has she done?" The Lord said, "One day when she was in the womb of her mother, on that day her mother felt the appetite of eating kaolin, white clay. She asked her friend who was with her for some kaolin, failing to realize that her friend was a witch. The mother got the kaolin from her friend and ate it. Her friend who was a witch bewitched the fetus through the kaolin that the mother had eaten. As a result, the child received the spirit of witchcraft while she was still in the womb of her mother. Weeks later, the pregnant mother had a miscarriage. And when this happened, The baby was already initiated in witchcraft through the kaolin that her mother had eaten. I said, Lord, is there no more mercy left for this baby? The Lord said, too late. No defiled and stained soul can enter the kingdom of heaven. The Lord said, tell mothers when they found out that they are pregnant, they must go to church to consecrate their pregnancies to God. Many parents are failing to consecrate their pregnancies to God for protection. They are failing to protect their babies. This irresponsibility is leading all these babies here. They must present their pregnancies to God in the church through my servants for consecration, for many pregnancies and children are not consecrated. It's these mistakes that exposed babies. When mothers present their pregnancies to me, tell them to bring a seed with them for the consecration prayer. The Lord said, all these fetus and babies of weeks and months are falling in this place as a consequence of parents' failure to present their pregnancies to my servants. Remember to tell mothers to bring an offering to my prophets for the consecration of the pregnancy, and my servant will announce the pregnancies of these women that will be sealed with the seed. The Lord said, many children are born having covenants, bondages, and reclamation of unclean spirits. Every pregnancy must be consecrated with oil and sealed with a seed. The pastor will pray to undo the reclamation, covenants, and bondages before the birth of the child so that he will grow up in grace. The pastor will pray over olive oil, and the mother would anoint her womb with oil. Brother and sister in this section of hell, I saw thousands of babies because of witchcraft transmission. It was horrible. I will never forget these babies in hell. Many babies are being initiated in witchcraft in the wombs of their mothers. It was my first time seeing and knowing these horrendous things, and these images are still in my mind. Life will never be the same again.